Well, obviously, tough night for us watching Ray go down. It's really not about our team. When you see somebody like him, and we've been involved with him really from a couple of years now, watching him fight and going through surgery is hard enough. The rehab's even harder. Doing it more than once, not being able to play the game that you love, being so talented, so young, watching it happen, and then we don't really know exactly what happened. Certainly, it didn't look good. We'll know more over the next couple of days, but this was the first time that he's been out here since the both Red Blue games, and it was exciting to see him out there for the first time. So, with that, I think to me that trumps everything else tonight.
You get any preliminary look at how you categorize it? Ray seemed to, his body language suggested it was pretty serious.
I don't know.
After he fell down the first time, did you ever think let's not do it again, let's keep it?
Yeah, he fell down the first time, and I think you could chalk that one up. Once he was examined, and he was, you could see where he would be on edge, nervous. Hasn't been out there in a long, long time, but he seemed fine, and but he was cleared to go back out. I don't know if what happened to him the second time had anything to do with what happened to him the first time, but it's certainly awkward because we've watched him practice for 22 practices, and he's landed, he's jumped, he's done everything that everybody else has done. And he's had no setbacks. We've given him maybe one day off for soreness. But other than the day off for soreness, he did what you saw him do, a couple hours a day for the last 4 weeks.
You talked a couple days ago or yesterday about the concerns for depth. You never know when, and now you're kind of facing it already.
We sure are.
On the depth issues, if there is an issue.
Yeah, we don't have any depth, we're going to play our walk-ons. They have to get ready. We're going to have to play, 3 guards a lot. We're going to have to teach Lowry some small forward. And we're going to have to take it one day at a time and be better at doing the things we can control than ever before. When we play in McHale, we're going to have to rely on our crowd and our efficiency, playing with great effort, great togetherness, and take it one day at a time and see where this leads us.
One final thing about Ray, the first time, it looked like it might have been an ankle thing, or?
No, he was worried about his knee on the first one, but.
There was nothing there.
Coach, going into a game like this, do you treat this more as a dry run for the upcoming season, or do you try a few things maybe, that you just, try some things out?
No, I think the best way to improve and learn a lot about your team is to try to play the game the way you would play it if it's your season opener, and that's what we did. If we didn't play well, it was because we didn't play well. If we did, we were trying hard to do that. But Kadeem Allen, I marvel at how far he's come. He had 7 steals, 8 assists, no turnovers, and 2 blocks. I'm telling you right now, I've not seen a better defensive player than him. And Nick, TJ, Rondé, Kyle Fogg is a senior, Aaron Gordon in his 1 year. When I was at Xavier, we had a couple of just monster guys that were older and really tough. Man, watching him tonight, this early in the year, it just really marvel at his effort and his leadership, him as a senior. And we're going to obviously count on him to do everything. But, thinking about where he would have been a few years back when we redshirted him, looking at him out there tonight, it's really fun watching his development.
You said the starting 5 that was going to be your, if it was a regular season game, those were going to be the guys.
Yep.
Anything stand out chemistry-wise, good, bad, that you took away from those guys?
No, we didn't shoot the ball well tonight. But I think that the other team was really playing a very aggressive man-to-man. They were trapping all pick and rolls. They were denying. They extended. So what they gave up was things that were close to the basket, and we took advantage of that. There are times, no question, a couple of our young players learning the difference between high school and college. You have to stop, shoot a pull-up. You saw Raleigh run over a couple people. Lowry did it in the first half. good teams rotate and take the charge. They're not as used to that as freshmen. But I think they'll get better. The thing about our younger players that I really like is they're very coachable, eager to learn, and they have a lot to work with. Watching them out there tonight, I'm sure you saw flashes in each one of their cases where you could see why they have a bright future. And, it's now up to us to get that out of them and get that out of them sooner rather than later. Every one of these guys has come to Arizona for a big, big opportunity. And the guys that we have on our team, all of them have a big opportunity now.
Just going home from a game like this, you think it'll feel like a loss?
I'm sorry?
Going home from a game like this, will it feel like a loss?
It will, just because of, just watching Ray. It's hard to take. It's hard for his family. It's hard for him, number one. It's hard for his teammates. When you're around him every day, you realize this isn't something that he just waited his turn and showed up tonight. You're talking about hours all through the summer, hours, 2, 3, 4 hours of lifting weights, of rehabbing, of working so that this time would come and a guy played 10 minutes. It's just like, it's heartbreaking. It really is. I don't have any words to really couch it, make it better than it really is. It's awful.
Coach, you mentioned Kadim's defensive game. Can you kind of talk about his offensive game and how it's developed over his time here?
Mm-hmm. So he's like a second point guard out there. Even when he's not a point guard, we utilize him, and we're going to do that even more now. And we need him to have confidence in his shot. If he's open, he can shoot the basketball. He showed that last year. I think his confidence will continue to grow in that area as he's expected to shoot more. And but he's really become a heck of a player. I thought Parker did a good job tonight as well. Running the team, doing a good job, handled a lot of pressure. And I think those of you who've watched him over the first 2 years, clearly he's a better player now than he's ever been. He's stronger, more sure of himself. And Duson, we could have done maybe a better job of getting him the ball. But you guys know that he gets the ball in and around the rim like he did early in the game. A lot of good things happen for our team. Same thing with Lowry. 10 rebounds is great. 8 shots. He's going to be a double-figure scorer. It's just a matter of time. And as his coach, we have to be really creative in putting him in good positions.
He looks like he's going to create a lot of mismatches on the inside and outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just he's an aggressive player too.
He is.
Very aggressive.
He is. He's, sometimes when you're as skilled of a shooter as he is and you're tall, you're not an aggressive rebounder or you shy away from contact. That's the furthest thing from the truth with him.
Coach, you had, I think, 7 guys scoring in double digits. Do you prefer to have a bunch of, obviously you want to have a bunch of guys who can score, but do you want to have everyone kind of, average the same scoring, or do you want to have 1 or 2 guys who maybe, outweigh?
It's really not up to me on that. I think every team creates their own identity. And if you have a lot of different players that can do different things and they share the ball, I think you'll have a balanced scoring team. Moving forward, I do believe we have that. I think we have a number of guys who can do different things. But inevitably, I think the cream will rise to the top, and we'll have a few that stand out more than others. Tonight, it's hard to judge that.
Was there a point where you could point to Parker as saying he got his confidence back?
First of all, I would say that the biggest point with Parker is, and I've heard that, he has to regain his confidence or become kind of the player that he once was. That's not the case for him. This has been his process. Leaving high school as a very undersized point guard, physically in his first year, he wasn't ready or able to do more than he did. However, he made progress. In his second year, he was a much better overall player and much more ready than he would have been as a freshman. This year, he's just taken another jump. So I think that you have to credit his work ethic, his patience, him sticking with it, a lot of hard work. And what has ended up happening, he now looks again like maybe he did in high school. But this has been his path. And I'll tell you this, that I think at some point this year or next year, he could emerge as one of the best that plays the position. Because a lot of the things that he does passing the ball, not a lot of point guards can do that. But I would say after the Wichita State loss was a moment of truth for him. We challenged each other. I challenged him. And I asked him to really buy in, not give up on himself or us. but do the opposite, get in the gym, get in the weight room, and come back bigger and stronger and better. And he did that. And because you fight like that, it's great to see the success that I think he'll have this year.
Anything else? What do you think of Keanu's performance tonight?
Keanu was good. It was good. You know, sometimes he's lost in the shuffle because he's not a high school player, but he's a rugged, physical, you know, player that I think complements what we have very well. And we're counting on him, and we're going to continue to count on him.
Thank you.